It's time to review Deadpool Team-Up #1, written and illustrated by Rob Liefeld. I think Rob Liefeld is a visionary. He's a man that needs to be respected, although for some reason people like to crap on him nowadays. But Doc is not one of those people, and we're going to review this comic book with the world's biggest Liefeld fan.
I don't know if I'm the world's biggest, but I am a very large Rob fan. He has a style and a flair that moves comics. Rob is stubborn. He likes doing things his way. He might be a little difficult sometimes, but he can move comics.
And certainly when you think about Rob Liefeld, he created so many characters. A lot of people took established characters and established franchises to new heights. Rob Liefeld not only did that, but he was creating new stuff that became brands unto themselves. Obviously, Deadpool is one of those. And Deadpool Team-Up #1 is supposedly the beginning of the end. The last time Rob Liefeld ever writes or illustrates the Deadpool character for Marvel Comics. I don't know that I completely believe it, but that's what he's selling here.
Look, he created the character. He drew him in his inception, his first few appearances. Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness did that Deadpool series that kind of took the character to new heights. But partway through that series, it kind of really started to stagnate. But you know what? They did the Cable and Deadpool miniseries, or ongoing series that lasted for about 50 issues. Rob did, I think, 1 or 2 issues of it, but he also did covers for the first dozen issues. That's the book that really brought Deadpool back into the comic reading consciousness. Rob was instrumental in Deadpool's first rise to popularity. He was also very instrumental in the second rise to popularity, and he is such a cheerleader for the character, which you don't see from so many other creators. Did I ever see Jason Aaron? Is he still cheerleading Jane Foster Thor? Fuck no. Is Brian Bendis still out there cheerleading Riri Williams? No. Rob, however, has an absolutely love for his characters, especially Deadpool and Cable.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this comic book so important, so special, because it very well may be the last time we see Rob Liefeld on Deadpool. Getting into the book, the thing that does stand out, it's just exactly what the doctor ordered, is Rob Liefeld on art. You get the distinct Rob Liefeld isms with the very dynamic poses. The heroes always look completely like dynamite when they're in action. Really cool line work, dragons and everything in there, and all the things that you want to see out of Rob Liefeld goodness, whether it be pouches and big-ass guns and all that kind of stuff. And you have to take it with the bad because, yes, there are a couple of small feet in here. But that's never really bothered me, Doc. I don't know why it pisses off so many people.
I don't know either. I mean, look, fine. We got the joke. Look, the joke's been beaten to death. Robin feet. It's fucking hilarious. Whatever. The problem that I have here, he drew all the cool shit he wanted to, but it's like he didn't really have an idea of what story he wanted to tell. And that's why it's a little kind of random. Is it really cool visuals? Fuck yeah. Just don't expect it to make a whole hell of a lot of sense. And it jumps around a lot.
But if you're looking for a Rob Liefeld illustrated Deadpool comic book with lots of cool visuals and big ass dragons and guns and all that stuff, you come to the right place. You are actually going to get a full helping of whatever it is that you ordered. Now, if you're looking for a very competent, non-random story, you are in for a surprise. And we start out kind of in mid-res, in the middle of a confrontation over some eggs. We have to go back in time to find out how Deadpool got here. And it turns out he was messing around with a local Ninja Clan lord's daughter, didn't realize that this was going to offend anybody. He's got a whole horde of ninjas coming after him, trying to make him escape, accidentally misses an awning, lands on his own mush, and then Anime Girl comes in to kind of save the day and lets him know, hey, if you go and secure these dragon eggs for us, we will pretend like you never tried to nail the boss's daughter.
This seems like a plot right out of the WWF in like 1998 with Hunter trying to bang Stephanie. I still don't know who Anime Girl is. I know she's appeared a couple of times, but I legitimately have no fucking clue who this character is.
We should point that out, Doc, actually. I will give Rob Liefeld plenty of kudos and flowers for introducing or reintroducing a ton of characters I forgot existed or didn't know existed. It's chock full of them.
It brought back the Magia, which is kind of the Marvel's mystical mafia. It brought back Anime Girl, who I seriously only have a vague recollection of ever existing before. Now, it does have Wolverine because, it's Rob and he wants to draw Wolverine. It has Dragon Man. It has Dragon Lord guy, who I don't remember. And even at the end, it has a cameo for a character that I haven't seen since the fucking 80s. I feel like this is Rob's opportunity to draw all the stuff he never got to draw before, and the characters that he always wanted to draw but never had the opportunity to do, especially when it comes to Dragon Man. You know, hey, do it, man. Do it and go fucking nuts. And that's exactly what he did here. He just said, fuck it, and went nuts.
So Deadpool needs to go to the dock to find the information, to find the eggs, to square his deal with the ninjas, because Deadpool is a very selfish character. He's not trying to save the world. He's trying to save his own ass. He arrives there, and as you mentioned, the Magi are their mystical kind of crime lords of Marvel Comics, and they are also looking for the egg, and it looks like he's going to have a little bit of competition. And it does not turn out very well for them. The Dragon Lord does show up, shockingly, riding a dragon, and he might make very quick work of the Magi themselves, and Deadpool is having some fun fighting a dragon, which are the types of things that you want to see in a Rob Liefeld written comic book. I don't want to see him do anything deep. Just throw some cool shit out there, and that's basically what you're getting.
It was a lot of deep cut stuff, because it made, you know, even then, whenever Deadpool's the one that's going after the guy on the fucking dragon, he's the one fighting it and basically telling the Magi guys to go away. He's like, this is a job for me, because he went back to the deep cut from like 15 years ago of Deadpool being kind of the king of the monsters. It's something that we haven't really referenced in a while. And it was probably the last time the Deadpool comic was any good. Now he had to bring it back up. Hey, there's a monster here. I'm the king of the monsters. This is right in my wheelhouse.
And he's certainly fighting the monsters here on the dock. And like I said, the Magi guys do not make it very far. And then we get our first semblance of what this team up is going to be. For some reason, I thought it was going to be like Hulk or Wolverine or one of the characters on the cover. It turns out it's, oh my goodness, am I going to be able to remember this guy's name? Ral Dorn, the Dragon Rider. Also looking for the egg, but he's not only looking for the egg, he's looking for some type of staff Dragon Lord has taken, and they end up teaming up, and the Dragon Rider saves his ass a couple of times, and then they end up mounting Dragon Man, who they're using as a dragon steed to fight in a battle. It's as wild and weird as you would think it is.
It really is. It's just kind of random happenstance. They ride in on Dragon Man, that he has now used his power as the Dragon Rider to make him bigger. Because see, Dragon Man was normally he was, maybe Hulk size. Now he's fucking huge. It's cool visuals. You end up with Dragon Man like chewing on the other dragon while Dragon Rider is trying to fight the Dragon Lord guy with the beard, whose name I cannot pronounce. And Deadpool makes a number of jokes about not being able to pronounce this guy's name.
Do you want me to try it?
Yeah, sure. Butcher this motherfucker.
Baron Skagger a Cracker. Baron Skagger a Cracker?
I'll take your word for it, man. Like, these are parts of the Marvel universe that I only have very, 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 very passing knowledge of even existing, much less any of the continuity with it.
Luckily for the Dragon Rider, he is able to get his staff, which looks like just a little stick, but once he holds it, it like branches out and like has thorns or something. And you find out he knows where the eggs are that Deadpool needs, but they're not there. They're actually through a portal into like another alternate pocket universe. So things are going to get more difficult if Deadpool actually wants to get the eggs and save his ass.
But before we get there, that's when Wolverine shows up, teaming up with Deadpool as well, because fuck it, why not?
That was the part I was confused about. So apparently it was a team up with Wolverine, but Wolverine's only on the book for like 4 pages.
He
is mostly a team up with the Dragon Rider guy.
But Wolverine gets to go with Deadpool to the alternate dimension, which is, do we want to spoil it?
We'll get to that part eventually, but I love Rob Liefeld's illustrations of Wolverine.
I do too. It reminds me a little bit of Philip Tan when he's drawing, where there's this kind of boxy feel to Wolverine, where he's actually shorter and stouter.
He's a walking fire hydrant.
Now that you mention it, you are correct.
This is what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be short and stocky, and his chest is too wide for his body and everything because he's shorter.
And he's fucking jacked. Mark Silvestri really made me feel that Wolverine was a short guy. Jim Lee really made me feel like Wolverine was a short guy. Joe Madureira really managed to. But a lot of the other artists out there, they just shrink Wolverine down, but he keeps the same proportions. Instead of being like borderline dwarfism, you could shrink everything down except for like the width of his torso.
I always like the way the dude from the Max did it too. He always made him like really
Sam
like,
Keith
and wide. Yes.
Yeah, Sam Keith really nailed it as well. But there's certain artists that really nail it. Rob, though, absolutely fucking gets it, and he's never not gotten it.
And I love it when they announce the hero and they give him like his like hero
his
font logo and stuff.
Yeah, where he gets his logo for his name. Fuck yes.
In the text. That's the way to do it. And they go through this portal because they've got to get to the eggs. And it turns out there's a protector of the other side, a character that we have seen, at least advertised on the Rob Liefeld covers. It's Crystar, Lord of Crystallium, is there to prevent them from making it to the eggs that apparently the Dragon Rider has hidden on the other side. And Wolverine is joining up with Deadpool in theory to take on Crystar. But I have a feeling we're going to take a couple of deviations from what appears to be a straightforward story.
If you don't remember Crystar, he's from the fucking 1980s. There was the saga of the Crystar. I remember the cover of one of the Crystar comics. I don't remember if it was issue 1. It looked like they did a He-Man cover, but they realized they didn't actually have the rights to He-Man. Everything about it was goofy. I never read that back in the 80s. I don't remember seeing the character at all in the last 40 fucking years. I mean, he was created by Joe Duffy way back when, but he was a toy line character. I don't know if the toy line ever even launched, to be perfectly honest. But Wolverine and Deadpool get to go over there. I'm assuming the Dragon Rider's coming with them because with the in media res thing that started
he's the one that knows where the eggs are.
Yeah, but he's also, it doesn't seem like he's the one going through the portal with them. He's just sending them over to this other universe.
I'm not sure. That's Deadpool Team-Up #1, Rob Liefeld writing and illustrating the last ride of Rob Liefeld with the Deadpool character. And it's fun. The visuals are great if you like Rob Liefeld art, which I do. I think it's a hoot to look at. The story, unfortunately, Rob Liefeld just hasn't really improved as a writer over the years. But if you always like Rob Liefeld, you're certainly going to have a great appreciation for this comic book.
100%. It's not just Deadpool teaming up with one person. It's Deadpool teaming up with multiple people throughout the entire first issue. He had 3 team-ups just in this first fucking issue. And it looks like they're already cameoing a team-up in the first page of the next issue. If you like Rob being Rob, you'll like this comic. If you want something a little less random happenstance, you might pass on it, but it's still just really fucking fun and cool to look at.
Me personally, I'm going to give it like a 3.5, something like that out of 5, 7 out of 10. Not something that I'm going to wholeheartedly recommend out there, but I do say, if you like Rob Liefeld, you're going to love this comic book. If you're not familiar with Rob Liefeld and you like really cool visuals and action storytelling, you could do a whole lot worse, and it's not something that you need to avoid at all costs. It is nothing like that. It's perfectly fine and fun.
If you're the same people the last week that gave us crap for not liking Wolverine Revenge #1 because we were too serious about continuity and it was just a cool, fun story, you'll fucking love this comic. Absolutely 100%. And this one at least had some continuity.
Well, this one doesn't tie itself directly to 3 different continuities, making it completely nonsense, but I gave Wolverine Revenge about the same type of score. It was just disappointing because I assumed it was going to be a 9 out of 10. People were very upset with us.
Exactly. I didn't
have a lot of expectations for this.
I'm going to give it about a 3.5, maybe 3.75. I don't want to go quite up to 4 stars for this, but it was a fun comic and it's well worth your, $5?
Is Doc in this one for the long haul? Are you going to make it through all 4 or 5 issues?
Hey, look, I read all of Major X, and this is already making slightly more sense than Major X ever did.
True, and it has less X puns.
Yes. So that already makes it superior.
There you go. Doc, as you can imagine, had a lot of stuff to say about Deadpool Team-Up #1 and a lot of the history of the characters and other characters that he didn't remember and where they might have come from. We had a really good time. We couldn't put all of that here on YouTube because YouTube likes a shorter format. If you would like the entire unedited version with all the extra tidbits and information in there, it's not a red band review. It's the artist edition review, the absolute edition of this. It's on Think Critical Patreon on Doc Unfiltered. There's a link in the video description. And have some fun with us.